After the difficult battles against Dr. Gero, Goku was left with a hopeful future. Now he had a new brother in the form of Android 16, who lived at Capsule Corp. Goku's days are filled with spending time with ChiChi and Gohan, as well as training against Vegeta. Slowly, they inch towards a new transformation, though Goku has had a much easier time than Vegeta. Goku becoming a father has changed him from a cold-hearted man into one more like the one we know. Now an evil presence threatens Earth, Babidi and Majin Buu. Will our heroes defeat the monster? The adventure continues now. Since Goku is alive and Gohan is too young to have interactions with Videl, there is little reason for the Z-Fighters to go on the tournament. One day, while Goku and Vegeta train together in the mountains, they sense something strange. Goku cocks an eyebrow as he stops the fight, telling Vegeta to wait. There is a dark key by the islands. Vegeta tried sensing it, and they both looked at each other. They just felt hundreds of lives fade away slowly. Goku wanted to go investigate, but Vegeta was upset about it. He was finally getting close to surpassing Kakarot. He could feel it. There was nothing getting in the way. Little did he know that Goku had done a lot more of training in his free time, and unlocked a stage even beyond Super Saiyan 2. A stage that, though quite taxing on his body, his unlimited energy made it pretty much flawless from the start. Worrying that something similar to Cell could happen, Goku stops by his house, asking ChiChi to tell the others, and to come along and help. If things went bad, Goku did have something he could use, but he was hoping to keep it secret. At the tournament grounds, Spopovich and Yamu were going one by one, taking the energy from every single one of the participants and spectators at the tournament arena. Kibito and Shin watched them from afar, cursing under their breaths. There was nothing they could do. Until they collected enough energy, they wouldn't leave, and they needed them to find the location of Babidi's ship. They were hoping that those strange Saiyan warriors appeared at the tournament. They could have at least used their Super Saiyan form then. Unbeknownst to them, the Z-Fighters were already on the way. Vegeta was annoyed that their battle was interrupted, saying that he didn't care if these people lived or died. Krillin, 16, Piccolo, Nappa, Gohan, Trunks, Goku, ChiChi, and Vegeta were making their way to the tournament arena. Once they arrived, they completely surprised Shin and Kibito. Kibito wants to act right away, but Shin holds him back. There's something strange about this. He can't sense some of their ki, and it seems that they are accompanied by someone akin to the Guardian of Earth. ChiChi kicks Mr. Satan out of the way of the Kili container, instantly kneeing Spopovich in the chest. To her surprise, he wasn't too hurt by the attack. She had held back just in case these were normal human beings. What now? What were they? Goku yelled at Nappa, Krillin, and the kids to grab the survivors and run away. Nappa grabs Mr. Satan, commenting on how he's lucky to be alive, and that he liked his mustache. In the meantime, ChiChi kicked Spopovich across the face. Maybe she had gone too overboard, and it seemed like his neck had something wrong with it, and thinks that maybe she killed him. But Spopovich stands up, cracking his neck. She was powerful enough to catch their attention. As ChiChi stares in surprise at Spopovich, Yamu stabs her with the Kili container. This isn't what Kibito had in mind, but it'll do. Goku rushed in to help her, but Kibito and Shin jumped out and stopped Goku dead in his tracks. But to even Kibito's own surprise, Yamu and Spopovich are left dumbfounded by the lack of Kili they collected. They look up at ChiChi, who smirks at them and kicks them away. This gives Goku a chance to push past Kibito and stand by his wife, the two of them charging a blast at the palm of their hands. Kibito and Shin curse. They need to find Babidi's ship. They can't let them kill the only leads they have. Vegeta grabs Kibito by the collar, asking him what the hell is going on. Kibito slaps his hand away. How dare he? Kibito says that if he values his friends, then he'll use that form. That Super Saiyan. Vegeta refuses. What did he even know about that? Vegeta thinks like Kibito must be in with those other two. Says that if he's eager to die, then fine. Piccolo realizes that the incredible presence he feels from Shin and Kibito must be someone important. Perhaps another Kai. Piccolo yells at everyone to listen to them. As Goku beats down on Spopovich, Yamu sees Vegeta transform. Vegeta gathers ki and powers up into a Super Saiyan. Finally, Yamu rushes in at Vegeta. As Kibito and Shin paralyze the androids and Vegeta, so the Majins can take the power and fly away back to their master. As soon as Kibito lets them go, he starts to apologize, only to be met with a punch to the face by Vegeta. ChiChi catches the attendant, questioning him. Kibito frees himself and tells them all that they're all idiots. They needed to find Babidi's ship and stop the birth of the monstrous Majin Buu. Kibito finally begins to explain everything, with Goku being very upset that he didn't do anything to help the humans out. But Kibito says that sometimes sacrifices like that are necessary. This sticks to the mind of Goku. Goku and the others agree to come along, with Goku quickly going to Korin to get a few senzu beans first. Gohan hugged his mom, happy to see that she was alright. He swore to get revenge for her. The group heads off to find Babidi's spaceship, being careful not to be seen by the Majin underlings. Mr. Satan begs Nappa not to leave, and the Saiyan pushes him off. Goku tells Nappa that he should stay behind and help the survivors. Nappa rolls his eyes but agrees. Mr. Satan compliments Nappa's mustache. He's being genuine but also terrified, as he recognizes him and his friends from the group at the Cell Games. Mr. Satan strikes a deal of a huge banquet and a lot of money if Nappa agrees to stay with him at all times as his bodyguard during this. Nappa thinks about it and accepts. This ChiChi is a lot more relaxed than the one in canon, and because she is much more involved as a fighter, she still allows Gohan to train and would rather have him accompany them, so she can keep an eye on him. The gang arrive at Babidi's spaceship and hide amongst the rocks as they watch Spopovich and Yamu hand over Keely. Immediately after handing it over, they are both killed by Babidi, and the Demon King Dabura appears before the group, killing Kibito instantly. Everyone is left in shock, and then watches as Dabura spits on Piccolo and Krillin, turning them into stone. Goku glares at Dabura and instantly blasts him. Dabura barely manages to dodge the attack and smirks at them before retreating into the spaceship. Goku instantly follows after the Demon King, with ChiChi, Vegeta, 16, Gohan and Trunks close behind, as well as Shin, who explains that defeating Dabura is the only way to reverse the petrification. Then he begins to scream at them all to stop, that this is exactly what Babidi wants from them, and once they're inside, they'll be trapped. But they completely disregard what he says, instead arguing that getting revenge for their friends is the best thing they can do now. And so, in defeat, Shin enters with them all. The Z-Fighters all seem pretty excited about this formidable Majin Buu guy. The kids are even more excited at the fact that there's a magician involved in all of this. ChiChi was confident at first, but after seeing the horror in Shin's face and how worried he is, well, she's feeling a little anxious about the whole thing now. She keeps both boys next to her at all times. The first opponent enters the room. Just like in the original, Vegeta defeats Pui Pui with ease. Shin is very surprised at the strength, but is still worried about Buu. Yakon then enters in the next stage. Goku and ChiChi play rock, paper, scissors, and once again, Goku's victorious, defeating him just like in the original. ChiChi was up next. The group waits around until finally the door opens and Dabura steps out. 16 is worried about how easy they have been taking things, telling Goku to get out there and go all out, but Goku simply says that ChiChi hasn't gotten her turn yet. ChiChi rushes forward, firing powerful ki blasts. She keeps her distance, as she's aware of his spit. The two continue to battle for a while, but it's extremely obvious that ChiChi is struggling against this foe. Vegeta gets impatient, commenting on how this fight is a waste of time. Gohan and Trunks are a little worried, especially after Dabura pulls out a sword. ChiChi does her best, but keeps taking heavy damage. Eventually, it all becomes a bit too much, and Goku powers up into Super Saiyan 3 to blast the Dabura point blank with a Kamehameha, vaporizing the Demon King easily. Everyone stares at Goku in silence, not really sure how to process what they saw. ChiChi thanks her husband, and the two children begin to question Goku about this weird form. Vegeta, however, is consumed by rage. How can Kakarot have that form? He's never used it once in the spar. How long had he had it? Babidi is terrified at this point, but notices Vegeta's disdain towards Goku and takes advantage of it. Vegeta is aware of the power boost of becoming Majin will give him. He gives in. Shin cannot believe the lengths these mortals will go just for the sake of one battle. He's appalled at the Saiyans. Trunks is scared of his father and goes over to ChiChi. All Vegeta cares about right now is defeating Kakarot and defending his pride as a warrior. Goku explains that over the 7 years, he had been training in the hyperbolic time chamber, on and off again. Thanks to his infinite power supply, Super Saiyan 3 doesn't have the same downsides as it has for Goku in the original story. He tried to explain that he'd only discovered this new form recently, and that he hadn't had enough time to perfect it yet, so he wanted to wait longer. It was his rage and anger from watching ChiChi get hurt which had triggered it just now. Vegeta didn't care about the explanation. He just wanted to fight him. He wasn't even concerned about Buu, as the Supreme Kai had greatly underestimated them all so far. The two Saiyans get teleported to a wasteland, and this is where they begin their battle. Goku and Vegeta had been working towards a new Super Saiyan form, one that would go above even Super Saiyan 2. They both knew they were on the verge of it, even Vegeta himself, though he seemed to be having a lot more trouble than Kakarot. In fact, Vegeta had no idea Kakarot had obtained it at all. He thought they were both still working towards it. Why? Why was he able to achieve it but not himself? Was it that android body of his? It was unfair that a freak of nature like himself could become stronger than the Prince of all Saiyans. Now that Majin power-up gave him that final kick he needed to actually unlock the form. It was time for their ultimate battle. Vegeta transforms into a Super Saiyan 3. Thanks to the Majin power-up, Vegeta is pushed forward even further, matching Goku's Super Saiyan 3. Though unbeknownst to him, Goku's was much more powerful, and Vegeta was quickly getting drained already. Goku can't help but get excited at this fight. The two begin their legendary battle, sending out shockwaves across the world. ChiChi is disappointed but not surprised that things turned out this way. She turns to face Shin and tells him they can't give up just yet, and maybe they can destroy Buu before he gets a chance to wake up, or at least wake him up with insufficient energy. Shin sighs and agrees that this is their best bet. In the meantime, Piccolo and Krillin had been released from their stone prison and rejoined the group. So Piccolo, Krillin, and the boys joined Shin and ChiChi in destroying Buu's ball. Babidi is the only one left protecting the ship, as he's powerless from stopping Shin and ChiChi from unearthing Buu's ball. Babidi screamed at them to stop, but they didn't listen. ChiChi, Shin, Piccolo, Krillin, 16, Gohan, and Trunks all begin blasting at the ball, trying their hardest to destroy it once and for all. In the meantime, Goku and Vegeta continued their epic battle. Both were Super Saiyan 3s, and Vegeta was actually doing extremely well against his rival. Goku could hardly defend himself against the enraged Saiyan Prince and was sent hurling back into a rock formation after taking a direct hit from a Gallic gun. Vegeta smirked as he continued his assault on the android. Unbeknownst to him, Goku was more or less letting this happen. He knew how hard it was for Super Saiyan 3 to be controlled. It was only a matter of time until Vegeta got tired and worn out. Meanwhile, the other group continued to blast the ball, the Killy counter almost full. Everyone banded together, and as a group, they fired a huge concentrated ki blast at the egg. After the smoke cleared, Buu's ball rolled onto its side and split down the middle. Had they done it? Had they prevented Buu from reaching his full power? They all looked on in silence and watched, but nothing happened. Babidi was screaming and crying at this point, claiming that they had murdered his Buu. Shin let out a small chuckle. Was it really over? Piccolo narrowed his eyes and looked towards the sky where a pink cloud had been seen. After a few moments, the cloud began to condense and formed into the fat Majin Buu. Goku and Vegeta also sensed this monstrous energy. Shin fell backwards, completely terrified at what just happened. Buu began singing and jumping around, giving off the appearance of a totally innocent, harmless being. But Shin knew better. Babidi smirked and ordered Buu to take care of everyone. At first, Buu ignored him, but after threatening to seal him, Buu soon changed his attitude and began his assault on all of them. First, he took care of Piccolo and Krillin, hitting them both hard with his Innocence Cannon. 16 fired a rocket punch, but Buu's body just expanded back and bounced it right back at 16, who was hit in the face and sent flying back. ChiChi told the kids and Shin to run while there was still time. Shin refused to turn his back now. The kids begrudgingly left, but Gohan really didn't want to leave his mom alone. Buu began attacking ChiChi, who was doing her best to counter the monster. The children had started to leave with Shin, but Gohan couldn't. ChiChi was upset at the boys for disobeying her orders. Meanwhile, Goku and Vegeta's battle came to a halt after Vegeta sent Goku flying into a mountain. The Saiyan Prince approached the android. "I'm sure you can feel the energy, Kakarot. Without a doubt, it's Majin Buu. Our sons and your wife are there right now. We need to stop wasting time, Vegeta, and get over there." It's clear to Goku that perhaps this had gone far enough. They needed to get there quickly, but Vegeta didn't seem to want to stop. Goku finally said, "Listen, Vegeta, that power you have right now, it may be our only chance to defeat Majin Buu, but you're running out of time. I know how taxing Super Saiyan 3 can be on the body. Come with me. It's our only chance to stop Majin Buu." Vegeta could feel it. He knew his power was slowly decreasing. That's why he was going so hard on Goku from the start. He was right. This is the only chance they had. Goku and Vegeta nodded at each other. It was time to stop this battle and go after Buu. Buu continued to jump around and refused to fight as he just wants candy. ChiChi and the kids tell him that he can have as much candy as he wants if he just stops the destruction and violence. Buu lowers his guard and listens, actually curious to see what they have to say about the candy. Babidi begins to scream and threatening Buu to seal him away. Buu ignores him, but Babidi's tone becomes more serious, and he begins to get quiet and scared. He tells Babidi that he doesn't want that, and that he'll do what he says, but in his own way. Vegeta and Goku look at Buu from the distance, and hear Babidi yell at him over and over again to kill them all, even though Buu seems like he's refusing. Without much of a choice, Buu finally shoots out a candy beam, just to get Babidi to shut up, aiming at the kids. But ChiChi jumps in the way of it, getting turned into chocolate instantly, as Goku screams out a pained no. Shooting into Super Saiyan 3, Buu looked sad at the ground. He didn't want that to happen. He actually ended up liking that girl. He started to steam out. He was going to attack Babidi instead, but if he did, would he be turned back into that ball again? He didn't want that. He didn't have a choice. He had to fight these people, didn't he? Buu didn't even reach to eat the candy. Not knowing exactly how the beam works, Goku yells at 16 to take the chocolate and the kids and get out of there. They'll turn her back somehow. But unlike all the other villains they faced, Buu didn't seem to have bad intentions. He seemed just like a confused child. Babidi, he was threatening him. He was the real bad guy here. Goku had to fight through the anger of seeing ChiChi get hurt in order to calm himself down enough to face Buu. Goku instantly jumps into Super Saiyan 3 again and begins beating on Majin Buu, as Vegeta tells the kids to back away and he helps Goku out. But after a few minutes, it becomes apparent that Buu is acting on Babidi's orders, even if he is having the time of his life fighting this powerful being. If there's a way to reverse what happened to ChiChi and stop the fight, then he'll take it. He doesn't want to fight right now. He listened to himself say that. It was ridiculous. He always wanted to fight. This was getting too dangerous. Goku's eyes blazed with anger as he confronted Babidi and Buu. His usually calm demeanor was replaced by a steely resolve. He couldn't forgive Babidi for making Buu turn his beloved wife into chocolate. He was determined to make him pay. Vegeta continued his relentless assault on Buu. Goku focused on him as well. He couldn't understand why Buu would follow Babidi's orders, knowing that he was being used for evil purposes and had no free will. Goku knew that Buu had the powers to resist Babidi's influence and make his own choices. Buu, listen to me, Goku shouted, trying to get through the pink creature. You don't have to follow Babidi's commands. He's using you for his own wicked plans. You're better than that. The way you and ChiChi talked, I know you didn't want to do that to her. I may not be able to forgive you now, but I don't want to kill you. Buu looked torn, his innocent eyes flicking with confusion. Goku could sense the conflict within him and he pressed on. She may be gone forever, and I can't forgive that. Vegeta, overhearing Goku's words, grew impatient. He yelled at Kakarot to get out of the way, launching another attack at Buu, saying that they need to finish this at once. But Goku stood his grounds. I won't let you kill Buu like that, he said, his voice stern, especially if there's a chance to bring ChiChi back. I promised her I would protect our family. I won't back down. Goku finally calms down a little and asks why he fights on Babidi's orders, explaining his own circumstances. He too was created to be a being of destruction, to defeat everything that stood in the way of his quote-unquote father. He was more than that. He found people he cared about, people he loved. Perhaps Buu could do the same. And if it's candy that he wants, they'll find candy. Buu relates to Goku, and the two share a small moment. I promise you, if you bring her back, both me and Vegeta will return, and we'll fight you even stronger. It'll be really fun. But first, bring ChiChi back. Babidi, sensing his imminent defeat, eggs Buu on. Attack them, Buu! Show them your power! He shrieked, hoping to regain control over his creation. Buu hesitated, looking torn between Babidi's and Goku's words, but ultimately he made a decision. With a determined face, Buu used his magic to reverse the spell brought upon ChiChi. Goku's heart swelled with relief as he heard 16 yell at him that ChiChi is back, being held by the engine. But Vegeta and Shin's anger towards Babidi hadn't subsided. The Supreme Kai turned to Goku, saying, Goku, stop Babidi now, Shin said, his voice tinged with anger. This is the ultimate evil. You can't let him escape. Shin was going to blast at Buu, but Goku cut him off. Don't try to go after him now, he warned. I won't let you harm him. He saved my wife. And now, I have a promise to keep to him. I promised Buu I'd fight him again. With a nod towards Buu, Goku grabbed onto Vegeta and burst away. Vegeta yelled at him to let him go. Shin and the others didn't have any option but to follow them. Shin cursed. These Saiyans, they were something else. But even he had to admit that there was something strange going on within Buu. He was definitely changing. Vegeta continued to yell at Goku that he had to defeat Buu, that it was stupid to let him go like that. Goku said that that may be so, but there was plenty of times Goku could have killed Vegeta and he didn't. This one time, he asked them all to trust them. They arrived at the lookout, where ChiChi woke up, relieved to be alive but furious at Goku for letting Buu go. She yelled at him, tears streaming down her face, demanding answers. Goku looked solemn. Buu is not evil, he said firmly. He helped us, and I believe that he can change. If things go as planned, then Buu will listen to us. He will defeat Babidi himself. Then, without someone giving him commands, we can give them that chance to turn another leaf. Trust me, ChiChi, this is our chance to bring everyone back. Babidi yells at Buu to chase after them, but he simply stands there. Babidi spits at the ground and says fine, they will be the last ones.
But soon enough, Buu, you will answer to me.
But Goku's words remained on Buu's mind. Buu and Babidi begin destroying and taking over the backwards planet. The two rampage, but Babidi becomes increasingly more dictatorial. Babidi orders Buu to continue destroying things, but the things that Goku said remain on Buu's mind. At first he listens, but eventually he gets tired of it and simply kills Babidi, making himself a small home and retreating to it, though he's still really hungry and hopes that Goku will appear again with food. The Z fighters see the horrible massacre that has already occurred. Even if he stopped early on, a whole city was destroyed in the meantime. Piccolo becomes angry, telling Goku that they need to interfere right now. Goku is saddened that Buu didn't change right away, despite being given a chance. He was about to leave the lookout when Dende informed them of something: Mr. Satan and Nappa. This surprised everyone. The group decided to wait and watch as things developed. Mr. Satan gets called in to deal with Buu. He asks Nappa to accompany him, as the two are pretty good friends now, and eventually, they become friends with Buu. The Kaioshin continues to scream at them to do something. Surely with the power of Super Saiyan 3, they'll be able to defeat him. Vegeta scoffed, saying that he knew what Kakarot was thinking. Yes, perhaps his Super Saiyan 3 would be enough to defeat Buu. But Goku, just like Vegeta, sensed that Majin Buu isn't completely evil. They watch as Majin Buu, Mr. Satan, and Nappa play around outside with a dog named B, as someone fires a shot at the dog. But with Nappa around, he sees the shot coming, stepping in the way and catching the bullet, saving the dog. It still angers Majin Buu, who rushes towards the gunman and unleashes a barrage of ki blasts, instantly killing him. Mr. Satan and Nappa look at each other, sweating bullets, thanking God that they've become friends with him, and realizing that this creature isn't inherently evil. He can love. He clearly loves them and the dog. The Z fighters in the meantime set out to gather the Dragon Balls, believing that there's hope in helping Buu. They wish for everyone who was killed by Buu to be brought back. The Kaioshin is healed, and Kibito is revived. As lives were brought back, ChiChi looked at Goku. He asked him why exactly he spared Buu. Goku sighed. He had already explained this, but he knew it was a huge deal to everyone. He thought of losing ChiChi. Was he making the right decision by doing this? The second he thought she was gone again, he was ready to destroy Majin Buu. But in her last moments, she connected with him, and he felt that. That was worth saving. ChiChi stayed silent, but yeah, there was something good in him, and he seemed to be repenting when ChiChi was talking to him until that Babidi guy started talking. He was the real bad guy here, wasn't he? Goku nodded with a smile. ChiChi sighed. Goku. 16 smiles at Goku, telling him that he's insane, but he did see how he reacted to ChiChi. Perhaps they had a chance. You see, dear viewer, slowly, the harsh Goku we know as the android is slowly changing, becoming a little bit more like the one we know, more hopeful, seeing the good in people, because he knows how hard it is for everybody to see just evil in him. Kibito interrupted Goku, questioning him on if he was sure about this. Goku reassured him, there is a way to stop Majin Buu without killing him. Many of his own friends were once his enemy. But above all, Goku said, I'm strong enough to defeat him if needed. Don't worry, he'll be under my supervision. And if anything goes wrong, I'll take care of it. Shin and Goku shared a determined scowl, but finally, the god nodded, giving Goku the permission. He couldn't believe he was doing this, but there was something about that Saiyan that made him trust him. Goku looked at Vegeta, telling him that they have some training to do in order to keep their promise. As Mr. Satan and Nappa take care of Buu, Goku finally arrives, after training for some time in the time chamber with Vegeta. While in there, Goku and Vegeta have their final battle, finally taking the time to settle some differences they clearly had. It was through sheer training and a grueling fight that Vegeta was finally able to unlock Super Saiyan 3. It was much harder for him to use. It weighed him down. His body just couldn't take it. He had to be more careful. Kakarot had advantages he didn't. Even if he was behind him, he was doing everything on his own. He wasn't some cyborg, and Vegeta could be proud of that. Goku still has a promise to keep. He tells Buu that he knows he isn't completely evil, and they'll get him lots of food whenever he wants. Looking over at Mr. Satan, who nods, a little scared, Goku goes on to say that he still wants to battle, only if he promises to stay a good guy. Majin Buu says,
Buu wants to fight, Buu wants to eat, and Buu wants to stay with friends.
and Goku smiled, saying, "That's what I like to hear. Come on, Vegeta, let's do this." Nappa and Mr. Satan watched as Goku and Vegeta clashed against Majin Buu. Vegeta, who was helped by Goku to achieve Super Saiyan 3 during the time chamber, did an amazing job against Buu. They both did. He was a formidable foe with very strange techniques, and even though he was a little weaker than them, it was still a tough time. It was a great spar that rocked the earth and destroyed any cameras that tried to capture it. Majin Buu was actually knocked down to the ground by the both of them. It was clear just who was going to win, and the battle between Goku and Vegeta resumed, but not before long, Majin Buu recuperated, and angrily got in between the both of them. It was clear that even if they could win this match, it was in their best interest to just let Buu win. But Goku thought of something. Looking at the Kaioshin, who had been scowling at Goku the entire fight, the Saiyan smirked, rushed down to Buu, making him think it was just any other attack, but instead spun around him and grabbed him by his face, absorbing his power and slowly draining him. Buu was already trying to recover from the last battle. Perhaps this could just... make him fall asleep. Shin was a little dumbfounded by this. What kind of Saiyan was this? But he was right. It looked like he could take care of things here. Of course, we know that Majin Buu still retains an evil part within him, but in the original story, he was already showing signs of changing before he released pure evil Buu. So trust me, this will come back. Goku is invited to train with Shin, and so is ChiChi and Vegeta. The gravity is more intense, and they even pull out the sea sword, swinging it around and playing with it, getting stronger by just doing that. ChiChi in particular takes a liking to it. It reminded her of the Bancho fan, but eventually the sea sword is broken apart, releasing the Elder Kai. This Goku is a lot more serious than the one in the original story, so perhaps he doesn't suggest testing its endurance. But Vegeta's there, and I think he probably would. Eventually releasing the Elder Kai. Goku thinks about it. He thinks that he wants to get stronger off of his own strength. He has a path he thinks he has figured out. Vegeta too thought about it for a second. Kakarot may have an advantage now. Why couldn't he get one for his own? Maybe he could get his potential awoken after all. Maybe it was his time to get that unfair advantage. He smirked at Goku, who smirked back at him. ChiChi, on the other hand, thinks about it. Perhaps sometime. And so, 3 years pass on by. 3 years of peace, with ChiChi and Goku having another child named Goten. Now our heroes continue to raise a family, with Gohan and Trunks getting stronger and stronger as Goku and ChiChi settle down, welcoming Majin Buu into their home alongside Goten. Mr. Satan thanked them all and even gave Goku some of the prize money as a reward. He said that if they ever needed anything, to just call him. Though their relationship is of course not the same, as Videl is too old to be with any of the kids. In fact, the only real interaction they have with her is when she showed up to pull Mr. Satan off of Nappa. He still wanted to stay with him. He was too scared. What if something like this happened again? Nappa thought the guy was funny. He was easy to bully around a little. And since everyone had pretty much surpassed him in power, it was fun to have somebody look up to him for once. Maybe he'd visit him more often. But as Goku is well aware of now, just because the day is saved doesn't mean peace will stay forever, as a certain god of destruction finally wakes up. But that's the least of Goku's worries, as he keeps in the back of his mind his mother, Vami. Now that he has Android 16 around and he's become a father, he wonders more and more what Dr. Gero did to her. Maybe it's time to find out. Next, what if Goku was turned into an android? Thank you so much for watching, guys. I know this one took a long time to make, but this series is just cursed. I don't know what it is about it, but I've had to go through plenty of editors to get this one out. Thankfully, it looks like it was worth it. Shout out to Sensei Yuki for editing it. We're of course heading into Dragon Ball Super territory, and there's some cool surprises I have for you guys there. If you haven't checked out my previous video, What If Gotenks Went Back in Time, then be sure to. It's a really fun adventure based on the Super Sonic Warrior story mode, and I'm gonna be doing a lot more of those official What If stories, which you can find in the playlist on the iCard now. Shout out to the members and the Patreons of the channel. And remember, becoming a channel member or a Patreon is the best way to support the channel, as everything you guys give goes directly into getting thumbnails, editing, and more. So, thank you to Dr. Devious YT, Christian Hellman, Pop Just, Tishan Smith King, Francis Ford, Huey Famat, 217, Lewis Perkins, James Bracebridge, Mystic Angel, Nuka Draco, Hannah Rowan, Mutasim Muhammad, Ryuzaki, Midnight Combatant, Jonathan Way, The Real Samuel Randall, Huey, Beast Tianman 420, Faisal Alsharef, Akko, Grim Shadow 227, Giovanni Jimenez, Zanos, D-Man for Life, Hurt Fanfiction, Blaze 9526, Crates PlayStation CK, Free Flow Highway, Jackie Effing Chan, Shane K, Angel MR, True Lightning Striker, Squad 100, Ghost 1571, Lee Cadets, Kaiser Jirachi, Jonas Paulus, Trench Rules, D-Man Plays, Jim G, Always Zero, Jerome Foster, Salil Paranjape, Keith Grimes, Celestia, and Samuel Randall. Patrons and members now get to watch videos early whenever I get them done early, as well as get previews of videos and artwork. So consider joining. Anyways guys, that was everything for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until we meet again. See ya!